It's part of the fabric of who we are. It's the best thing we do. When I talk to graduates from 10, 20, 30 years ago, one of the first things they seem to remember is Spirit Week.
So like we just did the tug of war, and that was like incredibly hype. I went backstage, it was just kind of behind the blackboards.
And previous to that, I had spent, a couple of years hoping for an upset.
I'm asking, like, what's going on now? Like, we just won. Like, is it close or something? They wouldn't tell me.
There were rumors about it being rigged, it being staged. Oh, the grade 12s always win. And so for that reason, I really wanted an upset.
So I was freaking out doing it. And then they told us, like, we're going to give you an envelope.
We'd put the results into a package and delivered them to Samara and Keishan, and even the MCs didn't yet know.
You can go out and read it. So, like, that was insane.
Of Spirit Week 2015 are...
We walk out, and I have the envelope, and we're, like, I'm just jittering with, like, nerves. It's insane.
Look on their face as they simultaneously realized that grade 11s had won was something I'll never forget.
Wow. And then we take it out, all that cool hype up before it. And like I was incredibly shocked to see that grade 11s won.
I think the biggest factor in our upset win in grade 11 was, I want to say, I guess how badly we wanted it.
When your grade won last year in grade 11, that was the 11th time in history that it has happened.
We really wanted it. And, I think the grade 12s were a little cocky. There's a little bit cocky about, we're just going to win. We're in grade 12.
When I think about the grade 11 win, the first thing I think of is the raw talent in the group. When you look at everything from the music to the grade video, etc., we obviously had some very skilled individuals, but then how they were able to make that a cohesive unit, especially in the larger group events, that was pretty special, the way that they came together as a group.
I wasn't surprised at all.
I think us winning Spirit Week in grade 11 definitely gave hope, I would say, to probably those grade 9s.
Like, it's made younger grades be like, wow, like we can do that.
Now I think all of a sudden the younger grades look at an opportunity that wasn't really there before.
I think one of the very best things to happen to a school at Spirit Week is for one of the younger grades to win. It's important that all the grades feel they have a fair chance and that the system isn't rigged, quote unquote, towards the grade 12s. I think some of the grade 12s, when your grade defeated them, thought it was their right of inheritance to win, and it was their turn to win.
I felt bad for the grade 12s who lost. They were a strong group of students. They competed very well. I felt for them as they, embraced the sting of defeat. And while I did feel bad for them, I admittedly was very impressed with the way in the end that they accepted defeat.
Grade 10 was, like a test year and stuff. It was a lot of fun. But like, it got into my groove when it was grade 11 and grade 12, and just getting that double crown, like that is probably the best feeling ever.
You were the 11th grade 11 group to win in grade 11?
We won in grade 11 and we celebrated, but
After our grade 11 win, the pressure was on. The pressure was on. The pressure was on.
For this year's grade banner, I wanted to change some things from last year's banner, and I wanted to keep some things the same as well. I remember just going through pictures on my phone and be like, what makes Spirit Week special? And I saw this panorama picture that has all the grade colors, and all the grades are sitting in the stands, and it was such an iconic photo. I remember it being taken in grade 10, I think, and then it's taken every year since. I want to recreate that in the banner.
The production value has increased dramatically in several of the events. Most specifically, I think of the grade video, wherein we see a movement from iMovie trailers and Movie Maker to full narratives that are being constructed in a very cinematic way.
First thing we had to do for sure, because back in grade 11 it was just a trailer for a Campbell movie. We knew that we had to make it a narrative. We had to make it a full story. And that was difficult, especially within the confines of 3 minutes, I think it was. So we had to figure out a story, and then we had to make it a sequel. So we had to change something in a sequel. We had to face teachers. He had to face Mr. Dick, Mr. Conrad, and then face each grade and different events. So I think we had to make it more accessible. People had to actually kind of understand what was going on. We also kind of intertwined the grade banner and the grade video.
There's always something going on in the middle of the gym. There's always the lights on someone in the middle of the gym. And I think I wanted that to come through. So when we were working on the grade video, and the whole thing was about the legend of Campbell and 0012.
In the grade video, Campbell came to the door of Spirit Week to put the key that he got in the video into the banner. And then in actual Spirit Week, he had a key that we used to rip off the banner.
I was just thinking about how the grade video was shown before the grade banner presentation.
Now, Reed Kraemer will say that it was his idea to make that all meta, but it was mine.
Tying the two together, I thought would be a really unique way of adding a little something to both of them.
It was my idea.
Any of the events that brings like groups of people together, so like dance off, or voice your stuff, or tug of war.
Our dance off competition, our voice your stuff, those are events I would go and pay money to see in another context.
We definitely had to put in a lot more work this year, I found, because the grade 12s from last year left an amazing impression of their dance-off. They were known for having, their pieces were phenomenal, so we'd meet maybe about 3 times a week and lunch hours. But I was really impressed with how everyone did this year. We went from 26, I believe there was in the group, 26 dancers there. Only 2 of us were actual dancers at the point. And so to get those other 24 people involved in it, and by the end, everyone looked amazing. In my opinion, watching the videos, you couldn't tell who was an actual dancer and who wasn't. Everyone just went together.
When Spirit Week began, it was called Pep Week in 1957. I believe that's when it started. And it was meant to get everybody fired up for the basketball playoffs. Now it's to kind of blow off steam after exams and to promote your grade.
I think Spirit Week has changed in the sense that we are involving more and more students throughout the school in different specialty areas.
You can cook something, you can play video games, you can make a grade video.
Technical ability and other skills that perhaps might not be recognized in a common school environment. And so you see this school community and the school spirit building in a really positive direction.
I'm gonna miss Spirit Week. It was definitely one of the best things about Glenlawn.
And so I think Spirit Week offers this opportunity for Glenlawn to really show what we're all about. And it's the pride that exists within the building that we see realized during Spirit Week.
I'm gonna miss our double crown.
It's the week that our entire school looks forward to.
I think Spirit Week is the best part of Glenlawn.
I am gonna miss Spirit Week.
And it offers an opportunity for students to step up and highlight skills and talents that are really quite exceptional. For that reason, I think Spirit Week is one of the greatest things that we do here at Glenlawn.